talk about a very important concept in finance, that of risk versus reward. So let's first look at the reward or growth. Okay, so have you heard of the rule of 72? You haven't? Okay, let me explain. So the rule of 72 essentially is 72 divided by R, the rate of return, equals N, which is the number of years it will take for your money to double. Okay, so let's look at some examples. 72 divided by 2 equals 36 years. Okay, now so let's triple the rate of return. Say you're getting 6%. Now your money is doubling in 12 years. Let's say you're lucky enough to get a 12% return. So now it is taking you 6 years to double that same money. Okay, so now let's look at this concept where this is you, and you have $10,000 to invest. And what you do, you put it in a you give it to the bank, and in terms of a CD. And what does the bank do? They return the princely sum of 2% to you per annum. Okay, so then what does the bank do with this money that you've lent them? They go and give it out as a personal loan, a car loan, or a mortgage, or a credit card loan. So typically these credit card loans start at 12% and could go as high as 24%. Okay, so what is happening there is, so let us see. So what happened to your money? The 10K that you deposited at 2%, right? It will take 36 years for that to double. Okay, on the other hand, you've taken a loan from the bank for not loan, sorry, credit card loan from the bank. So this credit card loan, they are charging you 12%, right? So basically that money is doubling every 6 years. So let's compare that to what you are getting, the 2%, right? So what is happening? So in the first year, your money has doubled, or in the first term, 6 years, your what you owe the bank is 20K. After 12 years, that becomes 40K. After 18 years, that becomes 80K. After 24 years, that becomes 160K. After 30 years, it becomes 320K. And finally, 36 years, it becomes 640K. Okay, so here is the thing is that when you lend money to the bank, they are paying you 2%, and it takes 36 years for the money to double. Whereas the bank, in that same 36 years, lending you money at 12%, is making 640K. So this is what is known as the bank leverage. So this is a very important lesson for us to learn, in that when we invest the money, we want to make sure that we are getting a better return on it. And similarly, if we are taking any loans, we want to make sure that the interest rate at which we are getting those loans is less. Okay, and it is this balance of increasing your wealth, or increasing your money and paying less, that leads to wealth creation. Okay, now let's look at the flip side of that, which is risk. Okay, so let's consider that there are two persons, person A and a person B. Okay, so this person say invests $10,000 in the stars in the market. Okay, and in year 1 they get 50% profit. In year 2 they lose 50%. So if you look at it, the net at the end of the second year, basically there is 0% return here. The person B is a more conservative person. So what they do is they put it in a savings account which practically gives you 0% return. So what happens at the end of year 1, you get 0%, and at the end of year 2 you get another 0%. So here also, if you look, the net comes out to be 0. But what happened here is this gentleman, person A, made $15,000 and on the first year, and then the second year he lost $7,500. So basically at the end of 2 years they had $7,500 in their account, whereas person B didn't got 0% return, so their balance at the end of 1 year remained 10,000, and which is the same case at the end of 2 years. So at the end of 2 years, this person had grand total of $10,000, right? So if you look at these two numbers, it would appear that person B did much better than person A. But when you look at real life, this is not the situation. You don't put your money under your mattress. The only way your money is going to grow is, if you go and invest it. So basically you have 3 options to grow your money. So let's look at the 3 options. The first is fixed. Okay, so this is the case where you invest your money in conservative means, such as say CDs. So here you're getting a 3 to 4% return on your money. Now the second, and this is relatively safe. Now the second is where you put your money in variable growth. So in variable growth, so here you're investing in say stocks, ETFs, mutual funds, and so on. So here the return you're getting is the market return, and that market return could vary tremendously over time. Okay, so and then there is a third option that you have, and that is called indexed or leveraged growth. So here what happens is that if the market is doing well, then you get close to that return. I mean, the gain may be capped, but you get close to whatever the market return is. And in the years where the market is negative, you don't lose any money. So basically it goes up and then it stays there, and it goes up and stays there, and so on. So basically you have something like a stepwise function. So these are the 3 alternatives you have. If you put it in fixed, you're making 3 to 4%. If you put it in the market, you have market risk and you could lose your money. Or the third option is you put it in, either, so these are putting it in say an IUL, okay, or fixed indexed annuities. Okay, so now this brings us to another the whole concept we are saying, which is one of wealth creation. Okay, so you start out with your asset, and typically you pay some you have expenses on it, and then you pay taxes, and then so that will lead to your net worth. Okay, so the name of the game here is, say you have say $1 million in terms of an asset. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to lower your expenses and lower your taxes, so that your net worth will grow. Thank you.